Hello, my name is Monique Worrell. I'm a candidate for state attorney here in Orange and Osceola County, also known as the Ninth Judicial Circuit. The state attorney race is one that's often overlooked. People don't really pay attention to it because they don't know what a state attorney is, what a state attorney does, or how a state attorney even impacts their daily life. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about all of those things. The state attorney is an important election, and sometimes we ignore our local elections and focus a lot on national elections. But I want you to know that I believe your local elections are even more important than your national elections, and that's because they most directly impact your daily life. Does that mean that you shouldn't be involved in your national elections? Absolutely not. You should definitely be involved in your national elections. However, local elections like state attorney impact your day living. So, what is a state attorney? The state attorney is the chief law enforcement officer of a particular community. That means the state attorney makes decisions with regards to what type of cases are prosecuted, who is prosecuted, and when people are found guilty or plead guilty, what type of sentences they should receive. The state attorney doesn't make the law. The legislature makes the law. However, the state attorney is charged with the responsibility of enforcing the law. Through doing that, the state attorney develops policies on how that should be done. So, for instance, it would be perfectly reasonable for a state attorney to decide not to prosecute low-level marijuana cases based on resources when you have so many other more important cases that are actually a danger to the community to consider. Another thing that state attorney might decide is what type of cases should go through pretrial diversion. Pretrial diversion is a program that determines whether or not a case should go through the full criminal justice system, or whether or not someone should have the ability to complete a program and then have the charges against them dropped. Cases right now that are considered for pretrial diversion are certain types of drug cases, as well as first-time offenders. If I'm elected state attorney, I'd like to expand the universe of cases that can be considered for pretrial diversion. Another decision made by state attorney is what to do with cases involving people who suffer from mental illness and addiction. I believe that people who suffer from mental illness and addiction should not be incarcerated, but they should be diverted to community service agencies who are equipped to address those type of issues. So state attorneys have these very important decisions to make. In addition to that, the state attorney determines how people are handled when they encounter the criminal legal system. Now, I've been a defense attorney for 20 years, also a law professor, and a director of various programs in different agencies. And one thing I've learned is that when people encounter the criminal legal system, it brings shame and guilt. And as state attorney, I would like to see people take that into consideration and understand that sometimes in the criminal legal system, you see good people at their worst. And in order to build a vibrant and stable community, the best thing that we can do is look for ways to uplift people and help them to get on the right track. So I'd like to see programs developed that do those sorts of things. Another important role of the state attorney is in situations like the ones that we've seen that have caused outrage across the country lately, and that is dealing with law enforcement misconduct or other types of official misconduct. The state attorney is the one who makes a decision when someone should be prosecuted, what charges should be filed against them, and then what sentence should be sought once the charges are filed and the person is determined to be found guilty. In the recent cases, some of the outrage has been because there haven't been charges filed when people thought that there was enough evidence that charges should be filed. Or if charges were filed, they weren't the appropriate charges filed. Or if someone was found guilty, the sentence that was sought was considered to be too light for the crime that was committed. So as state attorney, it's really important to understand that law enforcement officers and other officials should not receive preferential treatment in the criminal legal system because that sort of action causes disparities as well as a mistrust of the legal system, and then it causes the system to lose its integrity. So these are just some of the things that the state attorney does, and I hope that I have shown you that it is an important election. It's one that you should be involved in. You should learn about the individuals who are running for state attorney in your district, and you should research their backgrounds and see if they're aligned with you. Like I said, this is the 9th Judicial Circuit, and that's Orange and Osceola County, but there are 20 judicial circuits in the state of Florida. So if for some reason you don't live in the 9th Judicial Circuit, you should find out who's running for state attorney in your district. My name is Monique Worrell. I'm a candidate for state attorney here in Orange and Osceola County. Thanks for listening.